After the holidays, there's so much to clean up and get ready for the coming year. This leaves me exhausted and a lot of things falling off my to-do list. It's time to lock in, and Omaha Steaks delivers everything you crave to reset after the holidays. An order from them means having high-quality Omaha steaks on hand at all times. I'm a big meat lover myself, and I always go with medium rare. But there's also plenty of poultry and other options available. Omaha Steaks offers unrivaled quality and variety, and every bite is backed by their 100% guarantee. A family-owned company with over 100 years of expertise in the meat industry. Let Omaha Steaks deliver high-quality proteins right to your door. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their end-of-season sale. And for an extra $35 off, use promo code YUM at checkout. That's OMAHA steaks.com, promo code YUM. Terms apply. See site for details. Go to www.omahasteaks.com to get 50% off site-wide during their end-of-season sale. And use promo code YUM at checkout for an extra $35 off. Minimum purchase may apply. Thanks to Omaha Steaks for sponsoring us.
Superstitions. There is not a person on this planet, I'd wager, who hasn't come into contact with them in one form or another. To what extent you abide by superstition is a subjective matter, of course. But I suspect most everyone is superstitious to some degree, no matter your age, profession, educational level, or where you come from. Because superstition is not just the possession of the ignorant or the uneducated or the impoverished. It is the possession of the human. To be conscious is to be predisposed to superstition. We love patterns. We crave meaning. We need the world to make sense, especially when it doesn't. And when faced with the mysterious, the chaotic, the unexplained, we reach for anything that gives us the illusion of control, even if it's just a ritual or a silly little rule we follow, just in case. Many of my newer listeners may not know this, but I come from a background in theater. And let me tell you, actors are a superstitious bunch. You don't say good luck, you say break a leg. You don't whistle on stage, you don't say that Scottish play's name. And when the theater is empty, when it's dark, the ghost light stays on. That's not just for safety, that's for respect, for appeasement, for whatever might still be lingering in the dark. Because, I don't know if you know this, but a theater is never truly empty. You've heard hospitals are the most haunted places. No, my dears. Pick a theater. Any theater. Superstition also has a way of disguising itself in order to dispense practicality, to provide protection, as a vehicle for us to teach. I was 7 years old, I think, when I first learned that I shouldn't walk under a ladder. Not because it could fall, not because tools might drop, but because it was bad luck. And my 7-year-old brain didn't need a risk assessment. It didn't need logic. It just knew it didn't want that kind of heat. And so I stayed away. Only as an adult did I look back and realize the brilliance of it. Tell a child the ladder might fall, and they might test it. Tell them fate itself might turn against them, And suddenly, they're listening. I did, anyway. Superstition, in this way, is a shortcut to safety. Where were you when you learned your first one? Do you still follow any? Do you believe in them? Or are you more of a, well, just in case kind of person? I think I am. I am in the just in case camp. I might knock on wood. I say jinx. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I grin and whatever while doing it, fully aware that it changes nothing. And yet, I still do it because, maybe some part of me doesn't want to tempt whatever might be listening. There's nothing listening. There's nothing. But I still don't want to tempt it. If you're from Appalachia, your ancestors are rolling in their graves right now because for them, superstition was not playful. It was not ironic. It was gospel. It was followed. It was respected. It was lived. These were people carved from isolation, necessity, and generational knowledge. People who lived close to the land, close to death, close to the unseen. And when you live that close to the edge of things, you learn to watch your step and pay attention to signs, to patterns, to warnings. The superstitions of old Appalachia don't really carry the same weight that they once did. At least not in most places. Some people do still keep the old ways. They do. Can't be too careful now. But even where those traditions have faded, they haven't disappeared. They've evolved. They've shifted. In recent years, a new set of rules has crept into our collective awareness. Don't whistle at night. Don't look in the trees. If you hear your name from the woods, no, you didn't. Many lifelong Appalachians insist they have never heard these growing up. These are modern inventions, TikTok folklore, creepypasta creations, fiction designed to frighten and farm clicks. But I can't help but wonder, are they really born of nothing? Or are they simply a continuation of old wisdom wearing new masks? Because fear doesn't just vanish, it evolves. And superstition, it adapts. Today's episode, at its core, is about protection of self, of family, of community. We are going to talk about some older Appalachian superstitions, ways to ward off bad magic, bad luck, evil forces, and then we are going to explore these modern rules. Whether whispered by candlelight in a mountain cabin or typed out under a TikTok video, the message is the same. Be careful. Be respectful. As odd as some of these precautions might seem, it may be wise to follow them while in Appalachia. Just in case. Welcome back to the Paranorm Girl podcast. I am your host, Kristen. Take the following for what it is worth, everyone. There's some very curious superstitions included today, and then some that, when dissected, they're just good common sense. So let's dive right in. I will start by sharing something that I find rather fascinating. So there are a number of Appalachian superstitions and taboos that we all might be familiar with because they made it into our general collective awareness, like across the country. The idea that if a groundhog sees its shadow on February 2nd, there will be 6 more weeks of winter. If not, spring comes early. That came with the German immigrants who would in turn popularize it in Pennsylvania. When I was in grade school, my class celebrated Groundhog Day one year, and they served us strawberry milk and told us it was groundhog's milk. So that groundhog's milk was pretty darn tasty was something that I believed for a little while. Just something you don't know about me. Fun. Don't open an umbrella inside of the house. There's two origin theories to this one. So it's either got Egyptian roots or British roots and would have come over with those immigrants. It would be popularized and passed down through generations in Appalachia. Sudden goosebumps means someone is walking over your grave. That one came with the British and the Irish. Knock on wood, to keep something from happening, has Celtic and Germanic origins. And the big one, the one everyone has heard of, yes, you have. A black cat crossing in front of you is bad luck. Highly linked to witchcraft, ingrained in European superstition, made its way over with the immigrants. Black cats are definitely not unlucky. I should know. I have my own little spicy void, and she is a princess. And I'm definitely luckier for having her in my life. Anyway, those are just a handful of them. There's probably way more that we all know and have Appalachia to thank for. I always find it interesting and fun to understand where something comes from. You know, it's evolution. It's neat, okay? I do believe I have been very upfront with you all about what a nerd I am. All right, let's start off this one. Talking about brooms. I mentioned previously that there are tons of Appalachian broom superstitions. Why are there so many? Well, it really should be no surprise. The home and their home life was incredibly important to them, and the broom was highly representative of that home and home life. I'm going to be mixing in some beliefs from various areas and belief systems. So if any of these contradict, I'm sorry, but that is what that is about. To ensure you do not attract bad luck, never step over a broom. Doing so can also delay marriage. Do not sweep on New Year's Day. Do not sweep on Friday. Friday in general was considered a very unlucky day to do certain activities and to start projects, especially ones you couldn't finish. Ensure that two people do not sweep at the same time. Don't sweep over someone's feet, or you will cause that person severe bad luck. It might also cause them to be imprisoned, to have wanderlust, and may prevent them from ever marrying. Never bring an old broom to a new home. I really like that one. And this is interesting, but part of my work at one of my many jobs entails inspecting and overturning homes and apartments that have recently been vacated by tenants. Do you know how many people leave just their broom behind? So many. A lot. A majority that I've been to. So maybe it's a wider spread superstition than I was previously aware. I don't know. Now, as to the new broom that you bring to your new home, ensure that everyone who is going to be living there touches it. And it is a new broom. I know you're itching to use it, but make sure that no one does on the first day that you have it, or you will sweep away your prosperity. If you suspect a stranger has brought bad luck, envy, or laid tricks while in your home, sweep after they leave while reciting Psalms 51 or 91. And I might actually use this next one. If you have a visitor that you wish to never return, Immediately following their departure, sprinkle salt on the floor and sweep it up behind them. Just a little harmless magic to incorporate in your superstitious beliefs. Sweeping under someone's chair while they are in it may cause them to leave. So if you don't want them gone, don't do that. If a broom falls all on its own, you will have a visitor. Also, if you drop a utensil, dish rag, or your nose itches, all signs of impending company. Hitting someone with a broom will turn them lazy. Sweep up following an argument to prevent further quarrel, and do not sweep right before moving to avoid quarrel altogether. Now, bad luck and not getting married is one thing, but what about evil forces, spirits, energies? Well, Appalachia's got a broom superstition for that. Never sweep at night. While this does invite bad luck, it also attracts ghosts and bad spirits to your home. If you absolutely must sweep at night, brush the dirt into a corner and wait until morning light to dispose of it. Keep a broom behind your door to keep unwanted spirits or evil people from entering. If you need more juice to that one, flipping the broom upside down and placing it behind the door is thought to be an extremely powerful anti-haint ward. Laying a broom crosswise at the threshold keeps haints from entering, so apparently it is not good for haints to step over brooms either. And keeping one on your front porch will discourage them from even attempting to enter. If you have negative or evil energies already in the home, sweep from the back of your place to the front to drive it out. That one's pretty simple. Definitely don't go front to back because you will trap that energy. And kind of a similar idea is always sweep away from your body, not towards yourself. So you're like, out, damned spirit, flick, like that. I think that's how that goes. And this one. I learned this one, I think, most recently. You are never supposed to sweep the dirt directly out the door. I didn't know that. I've totally done that, like so many times. All right, it is not all doom and gloom when it comes to broom superstitions and usage in the mountains. Sweeping corn into a fire will bring good luck. And no, actually, that is it for for good luck when it comes to brooms. But that's okay. That's okay. There are other good luck superstitions that we will discuss. Like the broom, there are a handful of other physical items that Appalachia considered necessary and important to their superstitious beliefs. Iron was inherently good, lucky, had protective energy. Red string and red flannel or red fabric was also good, often used. The Bible, salt, horseshoes. Horseshoes were another object that could specifically symbolize the home, and to this day, you may still see one hanging above the door on Appalachian houses. Now, a horseshoe hung points up was believed to keep the luck in. One wrapped in tinfoil might have been used to protect against conjure or the little folk. Now, hanging it points down could work to eject evil spirits and haints who are already in the home, especially one wrapped in red cloth. Keep it hanging up there over the course of a Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday if you've got a major haint problem and need to, kick it up a notch. And hanging a horseshoe in your fireplace and sprinkling a handful of salt all over it will also keep your home safe from haints and hauntings. Who here likes money? Anybody? I got a few for you. If you happen upon money, so not money that is given to you, just that you find, put it into a jar that you keep by your front door. Carry home whatever money you found in your left pocket And at home, be sure to coat the bottom of the jar first with cornmeal. This puts a barrier between the money and the ground, metaphorically keeping a barrier between you and hard times. Now, you may spend this money as you need, but always keep at least 7 of one type of coin or bill in the jar. Doing this will ensure the money keeps rolling in. If your left palm itches, you'll be getting some money. If your right palm itches, you will be losing some money. Leaving a little cash in an old purse before giving it away will bring you good luck. Maybe that good luck will be more money. And, of course, find a penny, pick it up all day long, you'll have good luck. If it's heads up, that's the caveat that has never been said to me. Hopefully that good luck is more money. I don't know if something like this actually worked. What would be your preference? Good luck, or to be given some unknown amount of cash, just a lump sum of money, but you don't know how much. I think I am going to have to go with the good luck because, that could mean anything. All right. Let's go with just a few more good luck superstitions before we dive back into the gloomy bad luck ones. Rubbing the head of a person with red hair, or the back on a person who has a hunched back. Don't. Yeah, just don't. Unless you know them and they're totally cool with that, and that's like, your guys' thing, but let's not touch people without their permission this year. Ever. A cardinal is a sign of happiness and good luck. Also, seeing a cricket in your house, a spider web in a doorway. If a grasshopper spits on you, gross. If a bird poops on you, also gross. Or if a butterfly lands on you. Oh, all good signs. Now, we all know that 4-leaf clovers are very lucky. Here is the Appalachian twist. You must have found one when you were not looking. Just happened upon it. Once you find it, no one else can lay eyes on it or it loses its lucky power. So you're going to tuck it into your Bible, sew it into your hat rim, or hide it in the inner lining of your shoes. The end. That's the end of that one. Finding a 4-hole button or a rock with a hole in it are also said to be lucky. And just like some folks will hang horseshoes over their doors for, good luck, some might instead hang dried corn cobs. You have to keep it dry. If it molds, the luck will rot away with it. How in the world did these people keep all this stuff straight? I mean, I imagine it was far easier before the era of technology and social media dramas crowding out our headspace. In addition to that, I imagine it was easier to remember all of it because they believed it was in their best interest to do so. They didn't really have many other options. Appalachian-specific superstitions centered around themes that were prevalent in their lives. So not just the state of their luck, but marriage, birth, death, the home, their family, and so on. They always had to be on the lookout for potential danger, harm, or change that could impact these really important facets of their lives. So, while many of their superstitions included things that you should or should not do in order to affect a certain outcome, many directed them in ways of foretelling said outcomes, so letting them get ahead of things, and in that way, perhaps something could be avoided or thwarted. That being the case, there were many superstitions involving dreams. Now, I might have mentioned this one in our death culture episode. Dreaming of a baby portends death. Dreaming of losing a tooth does as well. And an interesting one is you are never supposed to tell your dream to anyone before breakfast. Otherwise, it will come true. So, Perhaps if you have a good dream, go for it. But, keep them nightmares to yourselves. I don't want any of that. Another thing that they might look to superstition and signs to foretell was the weather. When crops could fail without warning and livelihoods or survival of your family hinged on certain weather patterns, you don't want to wait and see. You need to be ready for that. At least you need to feel like you're ready for that. Rain was often looked for. They knew that rain was coming if cows laid down, birds flew low, a rooster crowed at night, and I might be wrong. I'm pretty sure that was an omen for death as well. I'm pretty sure. I'll have to go back and double check. But a rooster crowing at night was something they looked for potential rain on its way. If clouds hung low, or there was fog that just would not dissipate. Did you all know that when a cat washes its face, it's not just cute, it's so cute, but it means it's going to rain. As a cat owner, I am ashamed to say, I did not know that. Now, actually, there is a little bit of magic with that one that they might have done if they needed rain desperately. So you smear something that a cat might find tasty on their face, and you get them to wash it. You force them to wash it. And if you can get them to do it 3 times, you can expect rain in 3 days. So neat. Winter was a really rough time, so they definitely needed to know when it was coming and how bad it was going to be. So they might look for heavy fur growth on animals come autumn. And if squirrels built their nests low and started collecting nuts early, gonna be a mighty bad winter. But seeing a woolly bear caterpillar with more orange and brown to it meant a more mild winter. More black bands meant a harsh one. Oh, goodness, if you found one that was completely black, I didn't even know they came that way. You better watch out. Winter is like Game of Thrones a-coming for you. Lightning strikes were of major concern. It was thought geranium petals, I guess sprinkled around something, but geranium petals would protect against lightning strikes. Getting bitten by a dog, that would suck. But at least you know you're not going to get struck by lightning. Add insult to injury, you get bit and then struck. Wearing a piece of wood from a tree previously struck by lightning somewhere on the body. That is actually a Cherokee belief. A Pennsylvania Dutch belief was that lightning would never strike a building where swallows had built their nests. That's interesting. Animals know things that we don't. They can feel things, so maybe there's something to that. And if you need to protect your property from lightning, your entire property, find a white and black stone and walk the perimeter of your land while you tap them together, creating a protective border. All right. Now, dangers such as lightning, illness, injury, bad luck, death, and so on would just happen. That was just the reality. But there was another angle to these events that caused fear and required certain precautions and protective measures to be taken. And this angle was scarier than anything. This angle was that any happenstance thing that could possibly impact your life for the worst might not simply be random, but intentional. And you may not know that at first. And your regular superstitions and precautionary actions were not going to cut it. Have you ever had a spell of bad luck that just would not let up? Maybe repeating misfortunes, one after another. You fall into financial crisis and you can't get out. You start becoming consistently sick. Well, Appalachians figured that there might be something more going on with that. Haints, witches, little folk, curses, hexes, tricks, and the evil eye were very serious matters that they watched for. and they had many associated precautions and superstitions. Hexes, curses, and tricks laid were big reasons to know yourself a really good granny witch or conjure doctor, but there were some protective and countermeasures that someone could simply take to shield themselves from that influence. To protect from being witched or conjured, carry a piece of dogwood bark or root, wear powdered gizzards or manure in your shoes, place paper that you have written prayers on in your shoes, sprinkle dried red pepper in your shoes, or fold salt, red pepper, and dirt from a churchyard in a little packet and wear that specifically in your left shoe. You can also protect yourself by creating a little charm to wear on your person. You tie a lock of your hair, a toenail clipping, and a stick plucked from the eastern side of an oak tree together with red string while invoking the Holy Trinity. To protect your livestock and animals from conjure, add slack water to your water source or pour some on their back while reciting the Lord's Prayer. I think we did already talk about that one previously, but just as a reminder, slack water is the water that a blacksmith cools their iron in. Now, if you have already been cursed, rid yourself of it by eating cooked robin's eggs. You can also carry a piece of coal in your right pocket or shoe until it has worn down into bits and dust. Take the dusty remains to a crossroads to dispose of it. Leave a different way than you arrived. Tricks were not only the doing of witches, but could be placed by the little folk too. So, carry an iron nail in your left pocket or hold it in your left hand if you suspect the fairies are trying to mess with you. Ongoing misfortune and illness could very well feel like a curse or a hex, but could also be the result of haints or other evil spirits around you. To protect yourself or your home, tie a red piece of yarn to your upper right arm. Store your knife set in your windowsill. Hang basil over your windows and doors. Wear a used horseshoe nail on a necklace and hide 2 in the soles of your shoes. Wear a bag of brand new salt from a never-before-opened container in a satchel around your neck. You can also walk around with your pockets turned inside out. All right, let's talk a little bit about the evil eye, and then we will spend the rest of our time together on the rules. So, the evil eye, or pewter eye, is a sneaky little beast. Misfortune happens. Illness, death, bad luck just happens. It's just the way that it is. However, like I mentioned before, to be a conscious human being is to be predisposed to superstition, because patterns and signs and warnings, we look for ways to explain the mysteries that we face. Because if we can explain it, we can know the cause of it. And if we know the cause, we can change the outcome. If we can point our finger at the source of our misfortune, well, that's something that could be defended against. That's something that can be stopped. When that something wasn't God's will, the work of the devil, haints, little people, witches, curses, that something might be the evil eye. And I say it's a sneaky little beast because it sincerely is. It required no black magic at all, and anyone could give or have the evil eye, even unconsciously. The evil eye is generated when someone feels strong negative emotions like jealousy, covetousness, bitterness, spite, anger, and ill will. It could also be projected by excessive admiration, which at first you might be like, what? You can't show admiration? No, you could. But just Consider how, like, quickly excessive admiration could turn to, I like that thing. I think I want that thing. I'm gonna take that thing. If I can't have that thing, then nobody can. That's an exaggerated scenario, but these people were very, very wary of that as well. This energy could be projected via a look or something as simple as just thinking about it. These strong emotions would travel from one person to another and create disturbance in health, luck, crops, livestock, marriage, etc., etc. And then the victim must first deduce that this was the result of the evil eye, and then would have to find ways to get rid of the energetic influence. And again, it's thought this influence could very well be created unconsciously and carried by anyone. That being said, it's a shame, but oftentimes certain people were automatically concluded to be natural carriers of the evil eye. People with striking blue eyes or were cross-eyed. People who maybe had some form of disability or were already socially isolated, ostracized, or just generally unliked by the community. You could even be thought to have the evil eye if you were born in the wrong month. So, crazy stuff. They were covering all bases. People who were suspected of having the pewter eye weren't necessarily thought of as evil or wicked, but still dangerous and to be feared. Superstition and protection rituals against this influence, such as the following, were fairly common. No shocker, but carrying iron, like an iron nail, on your person could protect you. Wearing the points from deer horns around your neck or carrying the foot of a muskrat or rabbit would protect you. If someone compliments you and you suspect maybe something underneath it, ill will, jealousy, covetousness, touch something, anything that is made of iron. Carry a piece of red beetroot in your left shoe. Tie a piece of red string to or near your bed. Wearing red in general would protect you. And carrying a pocket knife in your pocket. Sharp things could protect against eyes. That makes sense. If someone suspected that they had been afflicted, there were a few ways to test for it, but one very, very easy test was to spit into a glass of water and pour some olive oil on top. If the oil formed the shape of an eye, then they had the eye on them, and then they could perform one of the numerous remedies out there to rid themselves of it. We are wrapping up shortly, though, so I'm just going to recommend you guys refer to some of the links in today's notes for a deep and thorough dive down the evil eye rabbit hole, if that is something that interests you. To finish us up today, I have compiled close to 20 rules that I've previously heard or came across in the research that indicate there are things in this world and the Appalachian forest that we will never understand. I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm just kidding, you guys. Kidding around. Don't sue me, Zach. I'm a nobody. Okay. All right. Here we go. Cue spooky music. Don't whistle at night. If you hear whistling at night, you didn't. If you hear your name called from the woods, you didn't. If you hear a baby crying or woman screaming from the woods, you didn't. In general, beware strange sounds you cannot place. Don't speak in the fog. If you hear the voice of someone you know who you're certain is not in the woods, you didn't. If you hear your own voice in the woods, you didn't. If it sounds close it's far away. If it sounds far away, it's close. Don't look in the trees. Don't go outside alone at night. Don't be in the forest after dark. Don't go alone into the forest. Never leave the marked trail. Don't take anything from the woods that belongs to them. If things go suddenly silent and still, leave the area. If you feel eyes on you, or you sense a nearby presence while alone in the woods, don't acknowledge it. Don't turn around to look. Once it knows you see it, it follows. Eyes forward, keep moving, and whatever you do, do not run. At sundown, shut your doors, lock your windows, close your blinds. Don't follow the strange lights. Don't look up in the trees at night, even if you hear something up there. If you find a patch of earth where nothing grows, stay away from it. If you find a set of abandoned stairs deep in the forest, stay away from them. In short, if you hear something, no, you didn't. If you see something, no, you didn't. If you feel something, you didn't. And if you find something, you didn't. Show respect. Watch your step. Show no fear, and you will be fine. Okay, enjoy your trip to North Carolina, honey. Bye. Take lots of breaks. Pretty creepy stuff, right? They are, without a doubt. There's a lot of mystery to these rules. Most of them seem to be saying something without just saying it. They're a little sensational and leaves people who hear them with this feeling of, okay, but like, what are these referring to? What's out there? Yo, wait, what is out there? Like my question in the intro episode, what is the being of which we do not speak, right? What am I not supposed to name? I did wind up naming it. Starts with a W, ends with an indigo. What they're saying without saying it. Appalachia has, in recent years, seen a boost to their spooky culture. While it's at an all-time high right now, it's always had this air of mystery to it. Historically, it might have been haints, witches, mountain spirits, little folk. Today it's Bigfoot, pale crawlers, winged humanoids, deer that are different. These forests and mountains, since the beginning of human involvement with them, have claimed this sense of mystery and unease. And here, there might be monsters. And that's generally how these rules are understood upon first hearing them. That thing you heard could be a mimic. That thing you saw could be a pale crawler, some other monstrous predator. But I spent a really long time considering these rules, realizing these are our modern day superstitions. And like all good superstitions, they have layers to them. Similar to my story of learning not to walk under ladders. On the surface, it's bad luck. Underneath, it's common sense safety. At their core, almost every single one of these rules is actually solid, practical advice. Don't go in the forest alone. Buddy system. Don't wander off the marked trail. Don't climb up weird abandoned stairs in the middle of nowhere. If you fall, break your leg out there, You may be in some serious trouble if you're on your own. Again, don't go in the forest alone. Lock your doors, lock your windows, shut your blinds. Yes, shut it up tight, 'cause creeps be creeping out here. Don't follow strange lights. Ghost lights are a real phenomenon. They are. There are many documented occurrences of them in Appalachia. No matter what you believe causes them, you get curious, you go following one into the darkness, you're going to find yourself on the wrong side of a cliff or ravine. You're going to lose your footing in the dark. You don't need the enigmatic and paranormal for something to go really wrong out there. Even the if you hear it, no you didn't, if you see it, no you didn't rules. The human brain does some marvelously weird things under stress. Sound can do some truly funky things out in the mountains. Shadows distort. Trees look like people. People look like something else. Our brains are wired to quickly put two and two together, to see faces, to make sense of what we are hearing in unusual circumstances, to assess for potential threat. And when you're already on edge, your senses can turn against you real quick. Panic in the wilderness is dangerous. Misreading situations and running when you shouldn't is dangerous. The Appalachian forests and mountains have always been untamed and potentially dangerous. It's a place where people have absolutely fantastic and memorable family camping trips, and also a place where seasoned hikers disappear, never to be seen again. I think these rules are not just relevant, but incredibly important. What are they saying without saying it? We already know the answer on an instinctual level. The answer is a common ancestor we all share with early Appalachians. Beware the unknown. Fear of the unknown is the fundamental fear behind and before all other fears. Early Appalachians lived right at the edge of the unknown. But they had ways of understanding and dealing with it via their faith, magic, traditions, their superstitions. Today's world is vastly different than it was then. We've evolved and changed and moved forward. But the Appalachians' untamed wilderness hasn't. The source of the unknown remains. So, we have these rules that have made their way into our collective consciousness. We may not keep iron nails in our pockets or tie red string around things to keep us safe and give us understanding and some sense of control, but we might think twice about running in the forest or answering a voice when we thought we were alone, or looking too deeply into the trees. These rules may be relatively recent creations born of internet horror trends, but they're still important. It says something that they resonate so deeply, and our ears perk up when we hear them. Says something about us and our fear and our survival instinct and our need to protect others. Whether you believe they are about monsters, boogers, dangerous terrain, wild predators, or just unexpected turns of events while out in the boonies, there's something unknown for everybody out there, enough to go around. And it's better to be cautious in a place that does not owe you safety. Perhaps it's simply for the best to commit these rules to memory. You know, just in case. That's going to be a wrap for us today. And that is a wrap on our deep dive into the folklore, magic, superstitions, and history portion for the season. These things will come up again, but we did it, you guys. We laid a foundation to hopefully better understand what is about to follow. What is about to follow? Well, we begin our exploration into the vast unknown, the creatures, haunts, and high strangeness that the region is so well known for. Should be very spooky, very interesting. I'm so looking forward to it. If you would like to learn more or see where I got any of today's info, check the links below. Any thoughts or questions for me, send them to paranormgirlpod@gmail.com. I really appreciate, sincerely, the comments on Spotify. Keep them coming, my lasses and lads. For episode announcements and any important updates, you can follow the show on social at ParanormGirlPod. And if you saw this on YouTube and enjoyed it and would like to see more, please like the video. Drop a comment below the video to help the algorithm out. And make sure you're subscribed so that you get notified next time I post. And then we can see each other again. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you have an awesome day. I will see you back here soon for the next one, the next stage of our journey. I am calling Beasts of the Backwoods. First on the docket, Appalachian shapeshifters. Perhaps one of many reasons not to look in them trees. Until then, stay safe, keep the nightlight on, and sleep with one eye open.